Welcome back to the Crypto Wave. Kind of a fun one that I used to do these back in the day before I started getting big onto these metaverse projects and things. This is just kind of your standard kind of blockchain decentralized finance slash game, I guess you could say. And it's a pretty unique ecosystem. I can't recall if I did a video on drip before, but it's just getting bigger and bigger. So this particular one, I don't want to say you're late to it, but I've definitely been in it a little while. Um, but I still, and I'm going to explain to you why I think it'd still be good to get into it. And the reason being, well, first let's talk about drip. Drip, in essence, is a limited supply token. And they had a couple of different things when they first opened up. One was called a reservoir, one was called a faucet, and then they have the actual swap feature. And the swap feature is where you can actually sell and buy drip. It goes through its own personalized exchange. Currently, one drip is about $74. I've seen that as high as about $100, so it does fluctuate. And what is it? In essence, you can buy some drip, put it into the faucet, and when you deposit into the faucet, you actually get, I believe it's 1% a day, up to 365% if you were to never compound it. So every day it'll give you 1% back of whatever you put into it. Now, obviously, as you hydrate, or what they call hydrate, which is in essence compounding, that value can actually go up. So I've been in this, has been going on for almost a year. I think it started in April, so it's been about 10 months. I was lucky enough to get in pretty dang early, so it does look like I have a lot of drip in here. So at the moment, it said I had 210 in deposit, which gives me a maximum payout of 767 drip. I've compounded some and I've pulled out some. It just kind of depends. But I think from this point forward, I'm just going to be compounding like crazy. And again, I'll tell you why in a minute. So I've actually claimed 519 out. And that's all the way from when it was $2 all the way up to when it was $100. So it's a big fluctuation. But I will tell you that I am way ahead on this one, just on the price fluctuation alone and kind of what I've been getting from it. But for the last week, I've been doing nothing but compound. I'm trying to actually get my max payout even higher and my deposits even higher, because I think this actually has the chance to go up pretty dang high, because it's going to start getting fed by something else. One is it's not only going to get fed by the drip system itself. Every time you buy, a percentage of that buy goes into the pool that pays people back of that 1%. Additionally, there's taxes on different transactions, and that all goes to the pool that pays people as well. The reservoir is very similar. So the reservoir is somewhere that you can actually place your drip and compound. You actually gain more drip on this as well. It doesn't necessarily do a drip, meaning a 1% per day. I think this is just you get fed particular values based off of how much you're staking and how much you've compounded, etc. I did this in the very, very beginning. I got out of it simply because I like the drip better. Simple as that. So again, at the moment, it tells me what my value is. So it says that I put in $15,709 to get this 210 deposit. I was nowhere near that. That's simply because of the price appreciation. When I first went into this, I think it was like $2 per drip or something like that. I do have a max payout of 767, but I've already claimed 519. So with some quick math, without compounding anymore, maximum 767 minus the 519 I've already pulled out. So I still have 248 that I can pull 1% per day based off of my value. A moment ago, it said it's about $74 per drip. So it's still about 18,000 that potentially I could pull. Now that obviously is dependent on the fluctuation of the drip price itself. But again, what I've been doing since then, as you can see, I actually already have 2 drip available, and I'm getting about 2 drip with my 200 in here. I get about 2 a day, give or take. It's currently worth 153 if I were to just sell that outright. But what I've been doing is I've actually been compounding. So we're going to click hydrate right here. Give this a moment to pop up. Let's confirm that. And what you'll see is actually once it compounds, that too should go into my deposits. So compound successful. It goes into my deposits, and it also will increase. There you go. So now I'm at 212, and it did increase my maximum payout available. If you were to sell it, you would actually hit claim. It would come over here. Currently, it's $74 per drip. You, in essence, would put in the amount of drip that you have in your wallet and sell it here. But let me tell you why I think this is actually going to do pretty well. And you're probably not late to the game, although it's been running for about 9 months. It's been pretty dang stable. There's a whole new system over here called the Manorfarm. Manorfarm is from the exact same developer that did drip. And it's actually on it's a layer 1 and layer 2. And again, I apologize late telling you about this. But again, it was one of those things that I got into, and it was pretty fun. But now that I'm learning the dynamics of it, I'm realizing that it's actually pretty dang, pretty dang unique, I guess, for lack of a better word. First and foremost, there was what called the drip garden. Now, this is going to be something that's going to be continuing to run even when it goes to the layer 2, which we'll talk about in a moment because we're currently on layer 1 of this particular farm. Now, if you guys aren't familiar with farms, there's a million of them out there. In essence, it is a way to deposit liquidity in order to gain dividends based on that project's coin. Almost like Pancake Swap. Cake is the local coin for Pancake Swap, and you can actually deposit liquidity into Pancake Swap. You earn based off people using the site, other people putting in liquidity, transactions, selling, buying, all that kind of stuff, and then it actually can influence your liquidity itself, but you also garner interest for supporting the site in the localized coin, which then has a value. In this particular case, the Manorfarm at the moment is layer 1 and layer 2. So layer 1 is what's called the Rev token or the Revolution token. It all started with this drip BUSD garden. In essence, it allowed you to deposit funds in, and you would automatically get a liquidity of drip and BUSD. So that already is starting to feed this faucet here. So that's already step number 1 of why drip is going to be doing so well. 2, this is kind of a game, and keep in mind that this is a game that's based on you get paid out per day what you've put into it. The more you compound, the more incentive you get. If you don't compound, you don't get as much paid out back to you. The purpose of it is the more you have deposited, the more seeds you get. And if you plant the seeds, in essence, when you plant the seeds, you're compounding your value or your liquidity tokens that you're garnering. So right now I have 1.37, which is about $38 worth of liquidity based on the plants that I have, which is 315. That's based off of a dollar value that I put into this. Now, if I were to plant the seeds, it would actually take that one and it would increase my plants, thus compounding and getting me more seeds for the next time that I'm going to compound or harvest. In the beginning, I was compounding on this pretty heavy because you wanted the more plants you got, the better you would be because you would end up getting more seeds per day. But it's a good game, but it's also a zero-sum game. There's going to be things feeding into this. I think I'm done compounding in this. I think I'm just going to be harvesting, and I'll show you why in just a moment. Actually, this is what I've been doing for the last about 10 days or so. So what I do now is I compound. I'm up to 315 plants. I get seeds. Every time this yellow bar gets up to the top here, I'm able to either compound or harvest. And so what I'm doing in this particular case is I'm harvesting these seeds as opposed to compounding. So I'm taking this liquidity that I've earned, which is a drip BUSD liquidity. Let's confirm that to pull it out. And I'm putting it into the level 1 farming. Level 1 farming, as of right now, it's the 15th. It is only going for 3 more days. Those 3 days, on the 18th, it's going to get shut down because they're going to go to level 2 farming. And we'll talk about in just a moment. First and foremost, I'm going to grab that. If you're not part of Drip Garden, you can still get into it. It's not too late, but I also, again, it's a zero-sum game. I personally would be avoiding it if you didn't get in first. However, if we get over here to the farms now, this is going to be going for another 3 days. And the point of these farms, this is currently level 1 farming. Level 1 farming means this is going to be farming for 14 days. We're currently on day 11. And what the point of these farms is to generate as much Revolution token as you can. At the moment, Revolution token is $124. The developer in the Telegram says that this is set up in order to hit $300 before level 1 farming is shut down, which will be on the 18th. So go in at your own risk. It's currently 124. Again, it's going to look like I have a ton of this, but I also went in right when it began. I don't even remember what it was. I want to say it was like $20 or something when it opened. But I jumped in on this and I pulled my liquidity from the Pancake, my WBNB/BUSD liquidity, as well as my USDC BUSD liquidity. I pulled it from Pancake, threw it over here to start getting as much to generate or farm as much rev as I could. And that Revolution token, what I'm doing is I'm harvesting it and then putting it into the pool to garner as much Revolution as I can. And I'll tell you why in a moment. Now, let's go back. I just claimed my drip BUSD liquidity from the drip garden, and that's exactly what this is here. So now that I've claimed that, I've been slowly building this. So I've actually pulled 1,580 out of that drip garden, and I've been just planting it in here to get this 1,485%. So this is that 1.3 I just had that I got from the drip garden. We're going to max deposit this, confirm that. And what I'm doing is I'm just compounding from the drip garden on a zero-sum game. I'm moving it over to the drip BUSD liquidity as soon as this pops up here, which I think is going to be around for quite a while, because again, the end game of all of this is it's going to be feeding what we already talked about, which is this drip token. So this drip, let me close that, this drip BUSD, I'm okay holding on to. I know everybody worries about impermanent loss for tokens that may go to zero, but I think drip is around to stay for quite some time, actually. So I'm okay getting more of this. Plus, when the level 2 farming starts, this will be one of the farms that you can actually use the drip BUSD. So the other one, like I said, I did WBNB BUSD, USDC BUSD. These are just liquidities that I've been building over time, and I move them from farm to farm, trying to accumulate as much as I can. So what does it do? It generates rev. This rev got collected when I deposited. This just went up to 1,600. That's perfect. Let's harvest this revolution token over here. I got about $100 or 0.8 worth right here. So we're going to claim that. Same thing here. I'm getting about half of a rev, about $63 from this particular farm. Let's harvest that. Give it just a moment here. I don't know why my computer's so slow on this side. I apologize, guys. Come on. There it goes. For some reason, this particular site, my computer just has a rough time with. All right, so once we've harvested those, we're going to give that a minute for the blockchain and the site to catch up. What that's doing is that's getting me revolution tokens. So now at this point, under normal circumstances, under normal farms, I would just sell this. I would sell the revolution token unless you truly believe in the revolution token or it's providing you a particular utility. So if I were to sell all that, between the two of these, about $100 here, it's about $63 here, but about $164. Current rev token's 124. That was actually 74 when I woke up this morning. I think it still has room to grow for the next 3 days because that's when the sacrifice comes. So that brings us over to this pool. And what is this pool? So I bought a bunch of rev in the very, very beginning, and I deposited into this pool to get, because part of the level 1, which is what this is right now, the level 1 is everything I just showed you. It's all about getting as much rev token as you can. That's level 1. As you garner the rev token, I've been just dropping it into here. And again, I bought, I don't know, a couple thousand worth, I would say, in the very, very beginning. And now that the token's worth 124, it shows that I have $25,000 in here, which is freaking amazing. And it's very tempting to sell some of this, but I'm going to avoid trying to sell it. I've actually been trying to just compound everything. So just like a moment ago when I collected all that rev, we're going to max out all that rev I just collected. We're going to confirm, and we're going to stake it right in here with the rest of these rev tokens. And the point of that being is, one, on level 1 farming, which is where we are right now, putting all my rev into this particular single stake pool gets me BUSD. It's not a ton. It's not a ton. $5 here is about $20 yesterday. But it makes you hold this revolution token because level 2 is coming. On the 18th, this is where we're going to get interesting. On the 18th, all the farms on level 1, which is what we were just looking at, and there's quite a few of them, those are all being shut down, as well as the revolution token is being shut down at that point. There's going to be a snapshot of this price value that it is at that point. And then you have 48 hours. So on the 20th, level 2 is coming. What is level 2, you ask? Well, in order to participate really well in level 2, you need as much rev token as you can. This rev token will then be sacrificed for level 2. It's going to be split in half. So I have 25,364. So it's going to be roughly what? 12,000, give or take. It's going to be split in half. Half of it you're going to get is dog token. Half of it you're going to get is pig token. For all you Animal Farm fans out there, you can see kind of where this is coming. Revolution token, pigs, dogs, all that kind of stuff. Kind of clever. The level 2, you are going to have farms, but there'll be no longer a rev farm. There will be, though, however, all the other farms that are currently offered on level 1 that's generating rev. The difference being, in fact, let me untick this so you can see all the different farms here. So here's all the different LP tokens you can provide. 1, there's going to be a drip BUSD. So I already have that. I'm good to go. There's going to be a WBNB BUSD. There's going to be USDC BUSD. I'm already ready for those. These will no longer be active. I will have to withdraw these LPs out of here, and I'm going to move them into the level 2 to start generating dog token. The dog token is going to be kind of the farm token of level 2, and that dog token comes with certain transactional fees. It is inflationary, but there's a lot of burn mechanisms. Each transaction, I think, has got a 5% burn mechanism. Some of that transaction, and again, you can go to the white paper. I don't know the numbers specifically because I had to look through it quite a bit, but those transactions, the fees, some of it goes to buying tokens and burning them. Some of it goes to buying pigs and burning it to drive up the price. There's a lot of little functionality for the dog token. You can also then use the dog token, pair it with some liquidity, and generate pig token. The pig token is going to be my personal attack. I'm going to try and get as much pig token as I can, simply because the pig token is going to behave like the Rev token right now, generating BUSD directly to you. The more pig you hold, the more you're going to get of that BUSD pool. That BUSD pool is going to be huge. I don't remember the numbers that the developer were talking about, but it's a pretty decent sized pool in the beginning. And that pool is going to be continually fed by all transactions, deposits, withdrawals, all that kind of stuff from the site. For instance, at the moment, you can see deposit fee 1% right here, 4% right here, 4%, 4%. So as people are going into this farm to try and get the dog token in order to get the pig token, there's going to be fees applied to that. Those fees are going to go towards marketing. It's going to go towards generating a treasury to feed the pig token on the single stake pig token pool. However, it's also going to do this, back to drip. Everything is going to start feeding back to this drip token again. Now, the reason I keep focusing in on this is because both pig and dog are inflationary. Drip is not. Drip is deflationary. There's only going to be a finite amount of drip ever produced. If everything this developer keeps doing, so for instance, drip skyrocketed. I bought it at like $1. I don't remember what it was. This is a long time ago, but it was very, very cheap. Now it's $74. Rev token bought in at like $5-10. I don't remember. Something really cheap. It's now $123. It's safe to assume that the tokenomics that he has set up and the community that he has, which is amazing. If you join their Telegram, is really, really good. It's safe to assume that the pig and dog token are going to go up. Let's just put it that way. Oh, and I forgot to mention, if you sacrifice the Revolution token, you're actually getting 20% more due to holding that Rev token. To when you exchange it for pig and dog token, you're actually getting a 20% bonus on that. So one of the questions I asked in the chat, and I apologize, this video is running a bit long, but I wanted to explain it. One of the questions I asked in the chat is, I like tokens that aren't inflationary. Inflationary is always tricky. You have to have a really good burn mechanism or really good deflationary mechanism to maintain that flow of what is being created from all the farming and what is being burnt and utilized, so that it doesn't saturate the market. As you know, the higher the inflationary token, the higher the token goes, the cheaper it's going to be, because it's going to just flood the market, supply demand. So I asked in the chat kind of explain it, and they did point me to the white paper, which I did read the white paper. And it does get a little fancy schmancy here, but I'm going to bring it up for you. This is obviously going to be one of those things that remains to be seen if it's going to work. I think it will. Again, this developer has yet to lead his community astray, but it is new and unique. So what is it doing actually? It is actually set up with an algorithm right here that will make it a dynamic emission. So as it is being farmed, it can actually, the smart contract, what I believe is the smart contract, I think it's in the smart contract, is going to adjust the emission rate by 25% increments based on supply and demand. So what does that mean? It means that if one day you are generating, I'm going to make up a number here, you're generating 50 dog tokens a day, and the market starts getting saturated, then it will actually drop that emission of that dog token. So it'll actually drop it. Each correction is up to 25%, not going below 25% and not going above 100% when it corrects the other way. It'll drop that emission rate, thus decreasing the amount of supply that's getting into the market. In theory, should start producing an increase of that price because, again, supply and demand. This is going to be for both pig and dog token. Now, the other thing that's going to happen is a lot of the fees and things are going to be collected. I think it's on this second page here. Nope, it must be the page before. Where is it? Anyway, there is, so here you go. So platform fees and things. So some of the fees and things going into level 2 for pig and dog, there's going to be fees going in. There's going to be transactional fees. There's going to be taxes for exchanging tokens, buying, selling, all that kind of stuff. All of that stuff also goes into my understanding, the buying, burning, and buying up of these tokens to help drive up that price and drive that down, that inflationary. All of this, in my opinion. So how am I going to play this? And again, I apologize for this video running late, but this is a really interesting platform. The group is amazing. The developer is amazing. I've listened in some of the AMAs. I've read this white paper. I've gotten into, he's got a couple different projects. One's called Reap. One was called Breep, which is Reap on Binance. Drip, and now the Manorfarm. Reap is the DAO token. I'm not part of the DAO, unfortunately. You need 300 of the Reap tokens in order to join the DAO. For this particular developer, and I think he gives you like pre-sales and things like that into these things. But even without that being said, getting in on these, it has been successful for me on each of the particular things. It was successful on Breep, on Binance. It was successful with Drip. It was successful with the Manorfarm level 1, at least. Level 2 remains to be seen, but again, it's not a far stretch of the imagination to think that this is going to be successful. 1, the developer knows what he's doing. 2, the algorithms and the flow of it all makes sense, and it's been proven. And he did make some unique little tweaks, such as this dynamic emission rate. And 3, the community. He's got a huge community, and they're very supportive, and they are very excited for this level 2. So it remains to be seen what happens. But my guess is, even if it dips, holding on to this for the next 6 months to year is going to be a really good play. So hopefully this explains a lot. Anybody who is just getting in, or even anybody who's already part of it. Thanks. If you're not part of this channel, please like and subscribe, and we'll go from there. If any questions or comments, go ahead and drop them below. And let's wait for the 18th. Let's see how this plays out. Have a good one, guys.